Can you shut the door, por favor?
All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone. It's Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, 5 p.m. We are in Committee Room 4 if you're out there watching on the World Wide Web and want to come by and visit. Would like to call the meeting of the Arts, Parks, Libraries, and Entertainment Committee to order, and I'll call attendance. I'm here. I'm here. Councilmember Bradford. Present. Councilmember Cap.
Here.
Councilmember Eastlick. Oh, he's not here. Councilmember Ewing.
Yes.
Councilmember Hancock. Councilmember Lee. Councilwoman Stiles.
Hola.
Taylor. Vice Chair Bowe.
Here, thank you.
Welsh.
Yeah.
All right, we have more than a quorum. That's awesome. I did not see anyone signed up for public comment, unless that has changed, which I don't think it has. But I do want to make everyone aware, if you're watching online or here present, we do have an update to one of our rules confirming the proof of Tennessee residency per Rule 28. So before starting every meeting, when we check for the public comment, the chair, I guess myself and for this remainder of term, will ask to review proof of identification to check. I'll be checking proof to make sure that you are a Tennessee residency. We do have a list that's at the council or at the clerk's office and online of what those proofs of residency is, or what can be accepted as proof of residency. Let's see here. With that, we will move forward, but just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. Any questions? Okay. With that, we'll move forward. We do have several items as resolutions on the agenda and one bill for second reading. I'll go through those now. So item number 1, RS 2024-784 by Porter, Welsh, and Ewing accepts a term of cooperative purchasing master agreement for performing arts apparel, instruments, furnishing, storage, and related services for the Nashville Public Library. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions?
This sounds fantastic. I'm 100% on board.
Wonderful. We do have somebody from the library present. I want to say thank you so much for also communicating via email with an update on this to all of us. And if there are no questions, is there a motion? I mean, vote in favor, or all approved, please indicate by voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Wonderful. Item number 2, RS 2024-785, Cuban, Porter, Welsh, and Allen accepts an in-kind grant from Boyle Investment Company, DBA Capital View, to the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation to add a commissioned mural on the existing retaining wall at the dog park in Frankie Pierce Park. Is there a motion?
Second.
And is there any questions?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bowe.
Can you tell us, has the muralist been decided, and if so, who is it?
Would you like to identify yourself? And you're recognized.
Sure, Kevin Roten. The gentleman, I'm sorry I don't have his name, but Boyle and the folks that are with Capitol View, it's the big development right next to the dog park right there. There was somebody who did a mural for them over in that development, and so they saw this little wall. It's like a little 2-foot wall, and they're just putting dog bones on it's in the dog park area. So it's only a couple $1,000s at the most, and they're just going to come in and put some dog bones in the dog park. So I can get you the gentleman's name. I can't remember what he is.
But the muralist has been selected. You can confirm the name.
Yeah, I can get you a picture of them. It's just dog bones. That's all it is. So.
With that, we do have the sponsor. Councilman Cupin, who is here and sponsor of the resolution.
I am, and thanks to Councilman Vo, who was in my ear, actually, not physically, but just in my brain when this mural came through to make sure I was asking about the equity and the components of how a muralist was selected. So great minds think alike. Nice. It was already selected when I reached out, and I heard that the artist was chosen by Boyle Investment Company, who are paying for the mural. The local artist is Josh Snodgrass. He participated in Capitol View's Mural Jam in April. The artist was referred to Capitol View by Music City Murals as possibly being available to a public art project. They met and discussed it and worked all together on that. So that is the local artist who is doing the mural. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair, for asking
Thanks,
that question.
thanks, Mr.
Especially
Roden,
as
for
we are,
providing that information.
especially as this is a mural taking place in Frankie Pierce Park. That is incredibly important, so thank you so much. Are there any other questions? With that, all in favor, please indicate by voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Number 3, RS 2024-786, Cash Portofel Welsh and Allen accepts a grant from Hillsborough Weston Neighborhood Association to the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation to provide funding for the annual maintenance and repair costs of the mosaic sea serpent sculpture, The Dragon, at Fannie Mae Dees Park. Is there a motion?
Move. Second.
Wonderful. Is there any conversation or questions from the members? Anybody from the public want to comment on this? Okay. Wonderful. With that, this is exciting. So all in favor, please indicate by voting aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or no votes, please let me know. Seeing none, that passes. Number 4, RS 2024-787, Cap Greg Portofel Welsh. Did we lose Councilmember Cap? Approves an application. Oh, you're behind. Okay. Approves an application.
He's just real quiet over here.
We're so used to you not being present.
Transportation Alternatives Program Grant from the Tennessee Department of Transportation to the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation for construction of the Aubrey Mills Greenway Connector, providing a vital link between the Stones River Greenway and Cumberland River Greenway to the Aubrey Mills Entertainment Retail and Hospitality Campus. Is there a motion?
Second.
A second. Wonderful. With that, I'm going to turn this, recognize the sponsor. Thank you for letting us all kind of pick on you a little bit. Councilmember Cap, is there any explanation or anything you'd like to share?
Sure. Well, this is a really exciting cross-district project. I know that Cindy is here to talk about it, and
Yeah.
a lot cool about this. We've been waiting for it
Yeah,
for
it's
a
a
long time.
1 mile section connecting from the existing Cumberland River pedestrian bridge. So it will connect the Cumberland River Greenway at Shelby Bottoms and the Stones River Greenway coming from Wave Country together there at the bridge. And then this section will take off towards the Aubrey Mills Mall campus and the commercial and district there.
That's exciting. And for the record, we all know who you are, but will you say your name and title?
Cindy Harrison, I'm with Metro Parks.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, this is exciting. Are there any other questions or conversation from the committee?
No, it looks like Councilmember Cap's ready to get out of here.
Vice Chair Vo.
Sorry, thank you. Can y'all just tell us the timeline for this?
For the so the we don't know exactly when the grant will be awarded, assuming that we receive the grant. We expect spring of next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful question. Any other questions or conversation on this before we seek a vote? Okay. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or no votes, please let us know. Motion passes. Bill on second reading is number 5 on our agenda, and that's BL 2024-554 by Councilmember Cupin, an ordinance to provide the designation of public property within specified areas of downtown Nashville as a temporary special event zone during the time period beginning at 9:00 p.m. on December 30th, 2024, and ending 6:00 a.m. on January 1st, 2025, relative to the use of these areas in conjunction with the 2024 New Year's Eve celebration and related activities and events. I bet this, you do have an amendment, so I would like, I believe that probably gives us an update of a date change. But Councilmember Cupid, before I do that, is there a motion? Second. Is there a second? Wonderful. And then movement to, is there a second to move the amendment? Wonderful. With that, would you like to describe the
Sure,
amendment?
we're moving New Year's a couple days earlier to get ahead of everything. I approve. Yeah. We're gonna do it actually tomorrow, get it out of the way. This is really exciting. If you want to see Kane Brown, Jelly Roll, and Keith Urban co-host a show that will be broadcast on the national stage. Come check it out. But really exciting, obviously a yearly event. This amendment, as you said, Chair, is to just clean up days of the week versus actual dates. So just a little cleanup amendment.
But I guess a question I have, maybe to legal, does the Metro Council actually have authority to change Christmas Eve?
You mean New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve?
Listen, I've got a bill coming to move everything
Okay.
one day early.
I promise to be succinct in this meeting.
I was like,
But I'll find out.
Section 12, subsection B of the Metro Code does say that the Metro Council has the authority
Oh, that was fantastic.
by a
Thank you.
2/3 majority to.
Thank you so much for that, and I'm glad I clarified both. I'm guessing no, nor Christmas Eve. Or so. With that, is everyone
Binding resolution.
voting to support the amendment to the bill? Please indicate by voting aye.
Aye.
Wonderful. Any noes or abstentions? Now back to the bill as amended. I believe we have the motion that is active in the second. Is there any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none. All in favor, please indicate by voting aye. Any noes or abstentions indicate by that. And with that, we are moving into the next part of our agenda, which is Dr. Paulette Coleman. She called that she was in traffic. She called right before 5 p.m. And said she thought she would be here about 5:17. So, she's got to get through everything. So if we could move to the department, what we were going to talk about with budget priorities first, and when she comes in, I believe we'll still have time to walk through an update from Dr. Coleman on the Arts Commission. We've received some email communication. I think we'll have some questions. But with that, talking through our budget priorities, so as we get close to CIB and moving into hopefully coalescing around or understanding what the department's needs are. One thing we did last year, during the last committee term, was to kind of walk through, and I went to former Chairwoman Stiles here. Do you want to go ahead and kick that off? Being recognized?
Well, I wanted to, out of the items that are on the list, the one large thing that we had that we didn't get to address was the feasibility study for municipal auditorium.
Right.
So that was $375,000. So to refresh, the group that did Mid-City in Huntsville did the Orion, would like to renovate. They've already been to the Municipal Auditorium Commission. The commission is on board. They would like this to move forward. This would be an opportunity for us to have a public-private partnership. We do the feasibility study. They're raising $10 million plus to do all of the renovations. Councilmember Coopin came last term. He is also on board. So as we're doing our CIBs right now, this is one of the items that we should be including to move forward since
What was that amount?
$375,000.
And we'll just open
And what
this
are
up
we
for
titling?
discussion. Oh, sorry.
Just municipal auditorium
It's
renovation?
it's feasibility study for municipal auditorium.
I don't know that that's a capital expense.
Is it though? Because we all have to.
That's a
It
good
came up
question,
before.
because when it deals with capital improvements or renovations or, things like that,
Budget item?
is it a CIB
I
item?
mean, we had it
Like
last year
like
on
the
the
condition
CIB.
assessment that we want.
But we had it on on our CIBs last year.
Can you get clarification, Hannah, and let us know?
Feasibility study, yeah.
Yeah, and also,
I don't know that that's.
the second item sort of in that category would be the condition assessment that we wanted to fund for general services.
Yeah.
to do
Correct. Yes.
An
That's the other
assessment
one.
of all of their facilities.
Which was like 700.
And
800, I think.
7 to 900, 900,000.
Yeah.
so if you could, if you don't mind, Councilwoman Ewing or Stiles, like just getting that over to Danielle or to Hannah and have that sent out to the committee.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and then with that, are there any other budget priorities from departments that we've heard already or we want to get more information from that we may want to include and get clarification if it's going to be a CIB or a different budget priority?
Not from last year, so it would be brand new.
So it'd be moving forward from that.
Yeah.
Did you have some?
Yeah, Easley Community Center and Edge Hill is, I think there's been a lot of discussion about improving it, and then some people want it to be a regional community center. I really do think we need to look at this and make it a priority in the area. I mean, it's one of our, I feel like areas with a bit of apartheid, and then now the community center is like on its last leg, and it definitely needs, I think, to be a priority.
What is it? Say that again?
Easley Community Center.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, EASLEY.
Okay, that's what I spelled. I was wondering.
Easley Community Center, is there an amount?
I would have to check because I know it's been on the list.
Could you also, like, when you check confirm the amount, can you
Yeah.
send that, and then if you could forward that out over?
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll also add too that there's going to be a concerted effort this year as well. The library for District 13, located on Murfreesboro Pike, there is potential for a public-private partnership with the Painters International Union. They're looking to purchase a property to build a training center, and they are willing to deed the original Donaldson Heat and Air office building that's on the front of the property to Metro, or either deed it to us, sell it to us, or lease it to us. This is property that I took former Director Ken Oliver to about 5 years ago now. He believed that at that time, just a rehab of the existing structure, so we're looking at saving a little bit of money there.
But making an addition, or is that a brand new situation?
So it's already been on the CIB for the library, and so we're hoping that now that we've got this option for a public-private partnership, we can get it funded and get the ball rolling to get that library moving along.
So it doesn't exist. We're building this would be for a brand, we would use
be a
this
brand new-
structure
correct.
to be the library.
It probably would not be a brand new structure, it'd probably be a rehab of existing.
Yeah, fair enough, but it would be a new library.
But it'd be a new library.
Would it come online as a new library?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what should we call it, though?
District 3.
Is it just District 13 Library?
District 13 Library.
I just want to step in, and apologies, but so the process that you guys are going through right now is not the prioritization process that you'll go through later in
Later,
the year.
yeah.
What you're doing right now is projects in your district. So I would advise against adding projects because it's going to gum up and there will be like 5 entries for the same thing. And then when we go to prioritize, there'll be 5 entries that you're trying to
But don't we have
prioritize.
everybody's?
So just, not for this. For this, you only have things in your district.
Okay. So our CI.
Right, and then they give us the new
So put
list and
things
we vote
in
with
your
our
district,
points.
and if it's in your district, and then later in the year, you'll have a prioritization.
Okay, so all our.
So
just-
right now, it's a cleanup for what you have. So if a project is in there, you don't need to add it again. If a project isn't in there, then you need to add it, but only add it if it's in your district. I mean, you can add countywide things, but don't add, don't everybody in this committee add something in Councilman Bradford's district, because then
So we
everybody
can
will
do
have that project. And then when you get to prioritize,
But we'll have these
splitting
written
your
down
points
for
6
when the
ways.
prioritization comes, that we had this
Yeah.
conversation,
But
so
as-
this still counts as a good
Yeah,
thing
it's
to
still
have done.
important.
Yes.
yeah, just
Okay.
wanted to clarify
I
that.
appreciate that. So with,
You mean at the end
let
on
me
my
see here,
side
if
of
we can
it,
get some, we'll get everybody's side conversation for just 1 second.
1 second. Chairs getting our attention.
Just the side, because I want, council member, you got,
So yeah, we've been working on a new library at Hadley Park for several years. It's been on the priority list for the library for many years. It's been on the priority list for the constituents for many years. And so we were moving pretty well through the process before the term ended. Got a new mayor, different priorities, and then library leadership change, a few things change, and so now we're revisiting how the library will look, what it will be, and so there may be some property that needs to be bought and a few other pieces to come together to make a larger library. It's a historic library, but it's not historic in a way that we need to keep the building, and so it's small. Many houses in my district are now larger than the library. And so this would be something that we can add to our list of things, I hope, for this group to look at it. But if libraries would like to say anything about Hadley Park, but I know that it's been on a priority list.
Isn't
I
it a
think
Carnegie?
Hadley and Richland
Hadley and Richland, yeah.
are, and we've both been funded by the design phase.
Yep.
Correct.
In this
So
past
both-
budget.
Yes, Hadley and Richland Park are both in design phase, and I think we're waiting to get more clarification or information. I'm not sure if that's coming from General Services or elsewhere regarding which would be moving into construction.
And I did have a meeting today with the library, the adult literacy team, and that's how I actually heard about Hadley
Yeah.
Park today. So I hope that in the same way, both of you, I didn't know about your library until today, but I'm glad that you're bringing it up today. I knew about your library.
I was just trying to get it funded and move on, so.
You need as many hands on the plow as possible. You should know that.
We were
I think
there.
with this, since we were going to talk about like the Department of Legislative and Budget priorities, I think what would really be helpful too, before the 31st, the CIBs, as we look in these districts, I think that's really helpful feedback, at least for me, to understand that. But as we try to schedule, and as we try to, and want to hear from other departments to get them to come into the committee and do a presentation, that'll be really helpful. So if you'll email this, so if you want to hear again from General Services, maybe from a specific area, or hearing from the interim director to come and do a presentation on what the priorities are, or from, 1 second and I'll get you, on that. And then other departments that we have purview over, to have them come in. If you'll send those names so I can start working to get those scheduled. That will be really helpful, because then we'll have up until we really start diving deep into budget, we can start having those conversations, adding into our committee list that we did, which was under the previous leadership, and we can continue that. With that, you did have your hand raised. I want to make sure I recognize you.
Oh, just very quickly, as we're talking about this, I want to add that the library is also focused on an opportunity, or whatever we can do at the Smith Springs area, because the population has grown so much in that area, and there is no current library
And
facility.
if you'll send that over, so we'll make sure we get that documented and added. And Chairwoman Stahl.
So, the Smith Springs, I'll talk about that today, that it's kind of been, there is a want for a library. The problem has been the community being okay with its location. So the land where it was, people have fought against that for the last 6 years. So it's finding a new place for it to go in District 29, but the community wants it. So it's a weird kind of situation. Just want to put that out there.
Let's see here. I'm just, Vice
Oh,
Chair.
yeah, since we're on libraries, I know that there's been a lot of requests for a long time for a larger Edge Hill library. And with the new Edge Hill plan that just passed in the Planning Commission, I think that there's a group that wants to get together, because the parcel is like 4 different Metro owners. From schools to General Services to, I think there's some parks, and then, so I think we need to have a real, kind of group gathering to imagine what that space would look like as step one. And I know that there's some, I think, grant that was given to the Edge Hill Library. It's like geothermal, and so it works there. And so my goal is that we would utilize the library in a different way, not remove it or anything, but then expand the library.
Cool.
So
And
is
with
that possible? Oops, sorry.
We do have Director
Just
Coleman
off
here.
her phone
Okay.
really quickly. So for one of the meetings, the 4 departments that she said owned it, could that be a meeting that they could all come and talk to us about that one library and figure that out?
Yeah, just send that over, and then we'll work on getting it scheduled and identify the folks that are the different entities, and we can work together to get that scheduled. So I would say anyone you want to hear from, but the folks do have is someone, the Independent Venues Association, that's going to come at some point and do a presentation of their study. And then if we need to hear again from Municipal Auditorium, have the Greenways, Parks back here. We'll do a special meeting with Parks to do the plan to play meeting. But anyways, any other entities you all under this purview, get those in, and we can start scheduling those.
Perfect.
With that, if everyone doesn't mind, we're at enough time. We've got Director Coleman. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
It's all right. Have a seat here at the end of the table if you'd like. With that, we would give you a moment to. Thank you for rushing.
I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, and I'd love to give you an opportunity to go over the update.
Okay, I just wanted to bring you up to date on where we are. As you know, the Metro Arts Commission is re-envisioning and looking at our grants programming. And I want to make a distinction because I've been conflating all day long something that didn't need to be conflated. We are working on operating grants, and what the report you will hear will be about operating grants. There is a requirement, and today is due a comprehensive or a robust is the word that's used in the conciliation agreement plan for community engagement relative to the Thrive program. The conciliation agreement also stipulates that on or before January 5th, that the parameters, the description, the Thrive-like program that complies with Metro rules and regulations will be presented. So there are two distinct things, and I've been conflating them all day long. All right, we are talking about operating grants because we would like, because council has to approve the criteria. And we were initially looking at a November 7th deadline, but we have been advised that we probably need to go to the next deadline, and we'll certainly solicit your recommendation, etc. What we are proposing and are doing relative to the operations grant, which may be similar to what happens to the Thrive, because I have to get to MHRC today, the draft plan. But for the operating grants, we started yesterday with the presentation to our grants committee. They recommended that the commission will approve the criteria for the operating grants. We are here today to talk to you about it and answer any questions that you may have. We will be at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning as a part of our monthly coffee talks, community conversations with artists. We will be doing a presentation there as well. We will present to the full commission on Thursday, and then we will also, as a matter of courtesy, present to anybody else that wants to. In addition to those plans, we are also looking at either a survey or WebEx, but meetings so that people will understand. There are not major changes in the operating grants program, but I want all of us to remember it is a transitional piece. We are already midway, almost 2 months before, in January, we'll be halfway through this fiscal year. So the performance period will be 6 months. We are also using the criteria and the panelist infrastructure that has been built in the past, have them reviewed. Anybody scoring 70 or higher will receive half of the amount of money that they received last year. It is not ideal, but it is a transition plan to get money out into the community and also to give us additional time to refine what FY26 will look like. The other change will be you can only apply for one grant. If you're applying for operating and you have a Thrive pending or whatever, you will have to make a choice. We have a finite amount of money, and we want it to go to as broad a spectrum of artists and arts organization as possible. I don't know if you have any questions, but that's a nutshell of what we are working on. As you know, the Conciliation Working Group is meeting bi-weekly. There are updates on Arts Arts.Metro, that's not right, but the Arts Metro grant that is not the governmental one. So,
Thank you so much.
it's an abbreviated summary, but when I was last here, I told you I would be back and would be available for whatever questions you may have.
Wonderful. And with that, anyone else, go ahead and just let me know.
So really
Councilmember
quickly, because I
Stiles.
know we don't have a lot of time. So I was at yesterday's meeting. So the group was discussing presenting a plan to give to the commission this week for them to be able to put legislation in for us to vote on. Here's the problem. And did have a conversation about this, and I'm going to ask you, Ms. Zeitlin, to jump in on this. The legislation that we just passed is for us to approve the grants plan. That is both plans. It's not one plan. So that does mean potentially that if they were to bring something to us, we would have to do something secondary in order for Thrive to be able to pass through and continue to go on. Ms. Zeitlin is going to let us know what that would look like, but this would end up being a two-parter unless they get together with the conciliation team and come up with a plan for Thrive tonight that they're good with, and they talk about on Thursday, in which case both would be able to be submitted for us to be able to approve.
With that, Hannah, did you want to be recognized for anything?
Just real
Legal
quick, I'll just
counsel?
say, I think we need to research a little bit more. I don't have the language in front of me, but the language that I think it was previously in the code, and it was cleaned up a little bit recently, but that the council approves the grant criteria. I don't know if that's, all at once or, each can be separated into parts. That's just something we'll have to look into.
Okay, so, and I think we'll need to hear from you what the answer to that is, so we can, to let them know, because that's going to affect the process, and I don't want it to be wonky.
Yeah.
You'll be
Okay, awesome.
You'll be working with
Right,
them
and
when
Metro
continue
Legal
on.
and
Okay.
everybody and make sure.
Any other questions, Councilmember Stiles? Before I move over to Vice Chair Vo,
I think that's
We
the
can always
biggest
come back.
piece, just so that we all know, so it doesn't seem like it's broken up. Like, they have the piece that they're working on for conciliation, but our legislation says that we are approving overarching, and that means both programs, it's not one. So this would be, even if we do something different, I think it would be just for this year because they're working it out differently, so next year it would all be together. You're gonna let us know.
Yeah.
However, just so that it's seamless, that's why I wanted to share that.
thank you. Vice Chair Vo?
Thank you so much. I was just wondering, because you were saying if you score 70 or over, you'll get half. So how are the guidelines being shared ahead?
Well, they haven't been,
So nothing's.
the operating grants have not been approved by commission. And once and that will happen on Thursday. On Friday, we will also have our biweekly conciliation meeting. Once they are approved by commission, they then go to council. And that's how we will be using our process of community engagement. Obviously, we will be doing multiple platforms. We are looking at a large kind of public meeting, but also breaking it down by geographical region, et cetera. We are not doing this alone. They're waiting for me for today, the plan, and then we will have a couple of days to revise, upgrade, improve.
And just,
Councilwoman
so,
Stiles?
to the community engagement,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing what the plan was for the community engagement, because I know that's something
Yeah.
we've all received emails about making sure that takes place before we're gonna put our hands on it for a yes. Perhaps on Thursday, there might be a suggestion of what that, beyond the survey, what that larger meeting for the community would look like.
Hopefully,
Come for us for
yeah,
first read.
hopefully, because we're supposed to initiate it, and MHRC is supposed to collaborate. So as I said, they're waiting on something for me today. So I thought it was going to be before close of business, but we have one volcanic episode after another. Anyway,
Okay. Thank you for all the work that you've done.
we appreciate it, and thank you for your
Really
support.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, thank you for rushing up the stairs to be here before our committee ends.
Breathless arrival.
Wonderful. Let's see here. Are there any other questions of Dr. Coleman?
Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Are there any other business before we ask for a motion? Okay.
Oh, actually, one question. Can we do a council connect, so once we get the information about the feasibility study and such, so that we know if we should include
Send me
said-
a request, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. And then, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move. Thank you. Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you all so much.
It is not moved if there